They can bring some high fevers and stuff and get really snaky.
Right.
And have diarrhea and have diaper rash. Natalie. Ready? Call the meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Natalie. Here.
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 Here. Here.
We'll move on to the approval of the agenda. Is there any questions?
I make
motion we approve the agenda as presented.
support.
Yes.
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 Yes. Move on to the approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of March 20th, 2024.
I make a motion to approve regular meeting of March 20th, 2024.
Support. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Move on to the approval of manifest 2024-07. Scott, did you have any questions?
I have nothing for tonight.
Brett?
I have none, thank you.
Jeff?
None, Madam Mayor.
Rico?
None.
And I have none. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve manifest 2024-07, the amount of $181,322.73.
Support.
Mr. Moraro?
Yes.
Mr. Pop?
Yes.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes.
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
Mr. McKenzie?
Yes.
We have no previous manifest questions. We'll move on to public comment. Anyone in attendance wishing to address the council on any item of interest shall do so now at the podium. State your name and address for the record. Comments shall be limited to 3 minutes per person. The council will not engage in discussion or debate during public comment. If the matter needs further discussion, the council may direct the city manager to place the item on a future agenda. Are you, fluoride? I'm gonna get to that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's on the agenda, so
It's
it's
an agenda.
the
Not done?
next one.
The next one.
Oh,
Yeah, this current public comments for anything that is not listed on the agenda. If you have a comment for an item that's on the agenda, that'll be next.
I would like to, okay, so my name is Angelica Meekshaw, 733 Brown Street. I would like to propose that you consider doing some traffic calming on 9th, and particularly putting some stop signs on 9th and Brown. Because people speed down 9th, it's becoming quite a busy road. There's a lot of people cutting through from the highway so they don't have to do the lights. And it's getting a little bit iffy at times. There's also children that play in the summer that come through and play through from the different alleyways going on to 9th. So I think some traffic calming would be something to consider.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else on regular? Anyone in attendance wishing to address the council on an agenda item only shall do so now at the podium. State your name and address for the record. Comments shall be limited to 3 minutes. The council will not engage in discussion or debate during public comment. If the matter needs further discussion, the council may direct the city manager to place the item on a future agenda.
Kristen Ball, 519 Iron Street, Norway. 3 minutes is not enough time to cover all of the reasons why it is in the best interest of the community to discontinue the use of fluoride in our water supply, but I will do my best. Talk fast. The easiest way to sum it up is when in doubt, leave it out. The fact is that the science does not support the benefits of fluoride in drinking water, but there is science that does support the fact that it is detrimental to every system in the human body. It is known that fluoride is toxic to humans. We give small children fluoride-free toothpaste for a reason. Even a pea-sized amount of toothpaste being swallowed by a small child can result in toxicity. Although some sources cite that there is a safe or even therapeutic level of fluoride, when you add it to the water, you have no way of regulating a dose. We do not know how much water each person drinks, their medical history, whether they have a lower tolerance to toxicity, their general health status, or their size, to name a few things. All of these things matter as to how much fluoride is considered safe. If you cannot control for these things, we should not be putting it in the water supply. It is known that pregnant women, fetuses, and infants should not be exposed to fluoride, as it is linked to lowering of the IQ in children. It is also known that fluoride increases the risk of lead toxicity, as it pulls lead out of older pipes and increases the absorption of fluoride in the bodies of children. The only reason that I know of for putting fluoride in the water would be to decrease the risk of cavities. Unfortunately, the science shows that this was never a benefit. The largest survey ever conducted by the National Institute of Dental Research shows improvements to less than one tooth surface of the permanent teeth of children aged 5 to 17, that is less than 1% of the 100+ surfaces available in a child's mouth. Even the CDC acknowledged that the mechanism of fluoride's benefits are mainly topical, not systemic. This means that drinking fluoridated water has no benefit to the health of the teeth, but can lead to damage to the other systems of the body. Other damage that has been found to be linked to fluoride consumption include osteosarcoma, a deadly bone cancer found in young men, thyroid disruptions, disruption of melatonin production for sleep-wake cycles, earlier onset of puberty in girls, lower testosterone in males, decreased fertility, skeletal fluorosis, which causes an arthritis similar to osteoarthritis, increased risk of bone fractures, fluoride toxicity in people with reduced kidney functions, damage to the stomach lining, and aggravation of the symptoms of diabetes. This is not a comprehensive list. Again, what it comes down to is there is significant doubt that the benefit of fluoridating the water outweighs the risk to many people in this community, including fetuses, pregnant women, infants, small children, diabetics, people with impaired kidney function, and the elderly, to name a few. We need to protect these vulnerable populations. If anyone is interested in the science I have quoted, I can direct you to the studies online. I have not been able to find one solidly completed study that supports fluoridation of water being beneficial. Finally, the financial obligation to restore the system seems to be hefty in these times. I do not see how the potential benefit of reinstating fluoride is worth the cost it would require to get it up and running again. Thank you for your time and attention.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I got a question. Did you breathe that all in there? That was pretty fast.
She's definitely a speed reader, Bo.
I didn't want to go over my 3 minutes.
You did good.
Jeez.
Thank you. Do we have anybody else? Okay. We will move on to appointment actionable items. Water Department, water supply fluoridization.
I'll kind of give a brief overview of how we got here. I believe this is the second or third time now that we've discussed this. So the city started putting fluoride in the water, it looks like sometime in the late 80s is when they started. And then I was informed that the fluoride system failed, it stopped working in January of 2022. And then the state reached out and said the city had to decide to either officially discontinue the use or officially reinstate the use. To reinstate it, we have to repair and replace the components in the building. We've provided an estimate of the materials that are needed. I was also informed the day that I sent this agenda out from Eagle that we need a engineered stamped drawing of the design of the components inside. I talked to GEI today. They're working on an estimate. I put the rough estimate for this initial project around $30,000. That does leave us about $6,000 or $7,000 for engineering. I don't think it'd be more than that. But we will get an estimate for that. From a funding standpoint, we have 3 mechanisms to try to get that facility up and running if the council so chooses. One, we have the RR&I money in the water department. That money is there specifically for infrastructure repairs, replacement, and maintenance. I do believe this project would fall under that. We have about 120,000 currently in the water fund, RR&I fund. The other one is we do have the 100,000 from the county, which we haven't fully allocated that yet. That is also meant for infrastructure repairs. This would fall under that. There's also the state grant of up to 25,000 that we could apply for. I do feel like we have a good chance, and then the remaining balance of that we can use through one of those other two mechanisms. If we want to discontinue the use, we have to discontinue the use in the same fashion that we enabled it. So if it was done by referendum, it'd have to be discontinued by referendum. If it was enabled through a council vote, it would be discontinued in a council vote. From what I can gather, it appears that it was done through a council vote and not through referendum. So if council chose to discontinue, there is a resolution in here that would do that. I had a couple people from Eagle that were going to try to join us via Teams. I had some technical difficulties. I can't get the thing to work. So I don't have them present to discuss this. In my memo, as I stated, my role in this is to kind of show you how we can pay for it if council chooses to implement it, and how to discontinue it if council chooses to discontinue it. My only recommendation is if we wanted to consider a official public hearing, which would mean noticing in the paper. This is 2 or 3 meetings into it, but I don't believe we've done an official public hearing. I don't believe we're required to, but it wouldn't be a bad thing. So,
What about the lady from the health department? Wasn't she supposed to be?
well, Sandy Sutton from the state health department was going to be here. She's the one that administers the grant for fluoride. I sent them the invite. Couldn't get the thing to work tonight because I was trying to get it done. So that's potentially another reason for council to consider looking at it at a future meeting. David Ball, Public Works, is here. He's here to answer any questions about the system, about the potential replacement components. For long-term, the cost of the fluoride itself, we figure somewhere between $2,000 and $3,000 a year. Way down the road, if we end up doing a second well site, we have to consider the same facility there. So that's kind of a basic overview of how we got to this point.
How common is this practice?
No, when we first discussed this,
We had that sheet.
yeah, when we first discussed this, I used the CDC and just randomly selected communities in the UP. No one else in Dickinson County uses it. Basically what it looked like is here, west, no one used it. Some of the northern Marquette
Manistee.
area, and then Escanaba, east more so seemed to use it. The CDC, I believe they recommend it. Like I said, we're the only ones in the county that currently fluoride. I couldn't tell you how uncommon it is. I don't want to give you a percent, but in the UP it seemed a lot more did not than did.
Yeah, if I may, Madam Mayor. Cristobal, thank you for your passionate and speedy comments. I did a little bit of research myself, and for the first time in 53 years, the U.S. Public Health Service has recommended lowering folks that do choose to use fluoride in their systems. They found that too much fluoride can damage bones, joints, and even teeth over time. Harvard University did a study that basically said they found fluoride is good for young adolescents' teeth, has no bearing on adults' teeth. But they also said that when they tested on adolescent animals, it showed toxic damage to the brain. So there's a lot of different stuff out there when it comes to fluoride. And I think it can definitely help our older community, can hurt our older community, even with the benefits of helping the younger ones with, with the actual anti-cavity thing, and really, that's all it brings, right? It's only bringing, cavity protection to younger kids, so I wonder exactly what the risk reward is on this whole thing, personally.
And this certainly is not a mandated, obviously.
Obviously.
I also looked up some stuff too on it, and I did find controversy, some the other way, some this way or whatever, but, I guess the way I'm approaching it, and Kristen, by the way, thank you for coming in, because if we don't get the public to come in to help us make these decisions, it's very hard, because we want to hear from the public what they want, because we represent you guys too. I wish we would have had more people.
I tried.
Yeah, but, I guess one way too I was looking at it is if you really want your fluoride, you can get it from your dentist. You
Yep.
can buy fluoride to rinse your mouth with. So I looked at that too. I don't know if, and this is up to council, if you want to vote on it tonight. The only thing is, I really wish that the lady from the health department could have put, because he can't get a hold of her, and that could be very well due to internet down,
Yeah, I just
you
have
know,
problems with
getting through to them and Eagle to hear what they had to say.
And what Eagle will say is the state doesn't necessarily endorse it, the use, but they obviously encourage it.
David, how much corrosion did we have in that old system from the fluoride?
Okay, so over 30 years, 1988 was put in, I started in 87. So since it's been put in the facility, when we got it in, there was not much ventilation in the facility. I don't know what the parameters were back then when we put this into the system, but I do know when we're using bulk system now, which is, you get 250 gallons on hand, it's in a drum, it pumps it right out, you don't have it open to the building. We were using day tanks, they call them, 15 gallons. So we would dump in acid into a day tank open in the building with just the door open and a fan going, with a mask on, breathing mask, filtering out and a leather jacket and everything like that, so you didn't get splashed on you. Because you splash it, it can go right through your skin and into your bones. So that's the hazards of what you're doing, is it's a pure acid base. So all the electrical, it's gone. Anything in conduit, it's gone. Anything metal in that building is eaten. So we would have to put in a new system within PVC. Our water lines that were in the building, it etched galvanized piping, everything, the sink, the fixtures, are all gone. So it's completely went through the metal. As far as what we're putting into the
That sounds
system.
good, put it in your system.
Yeah, what's that do to the human body over time?
Right.
And I also do want to, can I just say one thing? Do want to note that there has been people who emailed us who have been not for it, but there has been people who emailed us that are for it too. Just so people understand that this isn't the only input.
As a lot of sometimes, the demographics of our community change. A lot of our family members that I deal with, or that attend, our local community schools, they have certain levels of insurance that no dentists around here will take. So we have, there used to be a certain satellite clinic that was in Iron Mountain or Kingsford that would take this certain type of insurance. They're gone. So a lot of our families have to go to Manistee or Escanaba. So we're talking about people with not a lot of means to go get their dental services. Now, because of that, we've been working very well with the Smiles on Wheels, which is a free mobile dentistry unit to come in and service our kids, where the kids at the age where it seems like the fluoridation, the use of fluoride is going to benefit them the most. We really need to pump that up. If we're going to move away, if we move away from this, and we've been doing that at school, but I'd like to see the city, possibly have a role in this as well, to be able to advertise the Smiles on Wheels. Fluoridation is one of the services that they provide, not just a cleaning,
Right.
Regular stuff like that, but fluoridation, and it's a separate line item, and it's a separate, yes, I approve,
Right.
Because of the things that we're discussing when it comes to fluoride. But yeah, I know, Mayor Brew, he said, hey, this is a service that people can get at their dentists.
Mhm.
It is.
It is,
and that
but
is
there's a
true.
lot of families out there.
Yeah, look, when I was growing up, to Rico's point and Candy's point, it was went through my adolescence before we had fluoride in our system. And we went to
We went to the school
We
in
went
the
to school. If our
In the
parents
summer.
chose to have us have fluoride, we
Yeah.
went to school and got fluoride,
Same
right?
thing, yeah.
We're gonna force everybody in town to get fluoride in their drinking water, if they want it or not?
Yeah.
I don't think it's a question. I think if you wanna get fluoride, it's available to you, and it's affordable. Like Candy said, there's mouthwash, there's mouth rinses, there's, Smiles on Wheels, there's a lot of different ways that you can get your children fluoride on their teeth to help prevent cavities. But to force the entire population to have fluoridated water, I question that as a responsible act with the different information that's out there.
And they actually come 2 times a year because of how well our program has been attended. We do a great job at the school of publicizing it. We even reach out and make phone calls to families that we know are lacking general
That's great.
dentistry services.
And I agree to your point too, because, it is easy, because I have insurance to say that, but for people who
Yeah.
don't have insurance,
Yeah.
they might not have that option to go and get the fluoride.
I would like to hear what,
But drinking water is a basic need of life, right? To force that into your system to people that don't want to have fluoride in their water, I think that's the crux here, right? There are other options, I get it, it could be hardship, but we can, like to your point, Rico, we can work to make sure the folks that wanna get fluoride can get it to their kids. But to put it in your drinking water, which is the #1 necessity to living, I question that.
I agree. I mean, once we make the decision to stay with fluoride or go against it, whatever that may be, if we choose to continue fluoride, we take that option away.
Yep, exactly.
And for, less fortunate or fortunate, doesn't matter, there's still options there to get fluoride. If it's in your water, you don't have a choice.
You don't have a choice. Yeah.
And we've had it without it for the last 2 years.
We've been without it for at least that one.
Yeah.
Which is interesting that we didn't know anything about that till a few months ago. When we have a mandate in our ordinances that say we had to provide it.
Yeah.
So I don't know what you guys wanna do tonight, you can, make a motion, we can wait to let, Eagle and the health department have their say.
you wanna do it?
I would like to make a motion to discontinue the use of fluoride.
Support.
Approve ordinance 456, an amendment to ordinance 425, section 210, subsection 213, fluoridization, to read, the city shall reject the use of fluoridization in the city of Norway water system.
Support.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mrs. Brew?
The only reason I'm reluctant to it is because I felt like, I really would've liked to have the health department have their say on this.
I do apologize for that, that's my error, I just couldn't get that.
So I'm gonna say no, and that's the only reasoning, just because we did tell them they could have their say and they didn't get their say.
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
Mr. Magee?
Yes.
Mr. Morano?
Yes.
Okay, we'll move on with item number 2, special event application, open air market.
I'll give a kind of brief overview. Debbie Hood is here as well to help answer questions. Sure. So this is the special event request for the second year of the open air market that we hold here on Main Street, kind of in conjunction with Music in the Park, which that's also on our agenda tonight. There's been a couple requests that are different from the previous year. The two main being that they would like to close the street a half hour earlier to give the vendors enough time to get in here and get set up, and then as well as extend the event into August when more of the actual produce from farmers are become more available. This was discussed at the DDA. Mayor Brew and Councilman Moraro were on the DDA and present. The DDA did recommend that council approve this is a DDA event, their special event. And that was unanimous during that meeting. If council would like to invite Debbie Hood, she's been the starter of this event. She can answer any questions
If
you have on this.
you want Debbie up here,
Bob?
I'll come for a second.
Okay.
With you,
Okay.
if that's all right.
Yep.
So do you have any questions? We had, I thought, which was a good market. We are asking for the extension because we also feel if we have a little extra hours, 2 hours to ask vendors to come, they're kind of, yeah, but that's a short period if they're coming from Powers, and we're trying to bring in more for South. You know, we're trying to bring in as many as we can, so we can grow this and help with our downtown. So that is the reason for the extended hours. Hopefully, we'll get more vendors that way also for you. And real quick, Candy, she has been there almost every night. She has supported our vendors unbelievably. She has purchased produce and everything else, and I wanted to thank you and everybody here for your support on this, because without everybody, and that includes Mr. Dave, and all of the city departments, our electric, our garage, the hydro, they have given me water carts, anything I have asked for help, they have been more than generous with their effort to help us out here on everything, including the planting of the flowers downtown. They have all been awesome, and I want to go on record to thank them for all their support also. Please thank your workers, because they are awesome. So, and the city hall, they have put up with me through all of this with the open air. And everyone has been absolutely fabulous
And also
to us.
one addition to this year, we talked, the DDA was going to purchase some detour signs and some boards to make, so when we have it closed, it's more clear at the detour, and also having signs discussing the businesses on the other end of the closure and the detouring around there. They're open.
This way,
we can.
Yeah,
And of course, we always do have the area set up for each business to come each week at the open air market.
Oh, yeah, we can do that, but we can't put the signs up by the ships and that.
No, those are, yeah, originally they were gonna request to do some
Wait, I can't do
signage at our entries at the ships, but after talking to MDOT, it's just, the MDOT right away, it's likely a no and probably not worth it.
Yeah.
But the detour signs right here at Main Street at the closure, and the sandwich boards on Main Street here to show how to get around the other businesses and what businesses are there and if they're open.
I'd like to commend the DDA for bringing that up and doing that to help those businesses, making sure that it's very visible how to get there. I think it's very important. As we all know, the business paid for the DDA, so it's great. You've won me over, and I'm very happy to vote yes on this.
we're glad we won you over. And it's okay.
A little bit different attitude than last time.
Shut up.
Yeah, at least I didn't have to gavel you this time,
Yeah, well, you know,
if you want to bring things
when people
up.
use logic and reason, I'm all in, man.
And when we talk about it, it all got cleared up, and
Yeah.
we all work together, and it makes for a great event and to help our businesses. That's awesome. So,
We have a couple of vendors asking for power, and we have talked to the electric department. We have, the likely charge for that, whatever kind of is in our fee schedule or whatever. If it's not in our fee schedule, what the department thinks is necessary for their use. We continue to work on our policies and procedures. We have some new stuff that I have our attorney currently, he was out of town, but I have him on his desk to review, to make sure that everything we do on this is in the best interest of the city and fair. So that's a continuing progress as we go to improve on that itself.
And Debbie, I would like to thank you, because if it wasn't for you, this would not have got started with all the hard work. and pride that you take in of getting this all together. It wouldn't be done this wouldn't have started without you, and I think that, you know, between this and the music in the park, we really draw a lot of people downtown, and that's, you know, that's just great.
Yep, that was the
Hear, hear.
goal. That was the goal, to get people to see our downtown.
Yep.
To
One-
bring them in.
One question.
Yes.
Just looking at the dates of the open air market and the music in the park, we have the open air market ending on the 22nd. We have music in the park ending on the 15th.
Yes.
So the open air market will exist for one session
After the music has ended.
without
yes.
the music. Okay.
And
All
Music
right.
in the Park is
And
also
we're-
asking to extend.
Oh,
They're
they are?
asking-
Okay. I
Yeah,
just saw
they're-
Yeah,
that.
they're both August
It's
22nd.
not in there yet then?
Yeah, they go August
My fault.
Yeah, it was in the
15th.
application.
Yep.
It was in the application that they're gonna.
Oh, I see it right here saying the 15th.
Yeah.
So both are looking.
Yeah, that's in my head. I was like, those two go hand in hand, and then I looked at that date. Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Yeah.
your time.
Do I have a motion?
I make a motion we approve the special event application for the open air market as presented.
Support.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the music.
Yes?
Yes.
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 We'll move on to item number 3, special event application, music in the park. Dan?
So, we kind of talked, this is Music in the Park. This has been around longer than the open air market. Based on looking at the application, it appears to be the same with the exception of they did want to increase it to that August 15th. They've noted no concert on the 4th of July, and their run time is 7 PM to 8:30. The only thing that I kind of looked at is, and I think they've had this before, but I believe they bring like a hot dog cart of some sort, which would probably fall under the mobile food vending ordinance. But looking at that, you know, where it's located, it does meet the regulations of being less than 150 feet away from a brick and mortar restaurant. You know, I may have them fill out the actual permit for that. I suppose if you approve this a special event and wanted to note that you've also approved that.
And I believe they sell that and put that money towards the music, right? Because it's,
I can't speak to that, I don't want to speak, I'm not sure, but they have done it in the past, I
That's
just
corner
don't
here?
know, yeah.
It should be 150 feet
It
away from a
is,
restaurant.
yeah, it falls within the regulation.
Yeah.
It's just a question whether I have them fill out a specific permit for that, or if you guys want to approve it within this, then I'll just kind of add it to it officially.
Looks good to me. They're over 150 feet, they're over 150
They
feet.
are.
Right.
do I have a motion?
I make a motion to recommend that we approve the special event application for music in the park.
Support.
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
Mr. Magee?
Yes.
Mr. Lauer?
Yes.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mrs. Blue?
Yes. Move on to mayor council comments. Scott?
Just a question, David, how much do you pay her to say the city workers are doing great? Multiple times.
Especially him.
Yeah. I have nothing for tonight.
Brett?
I have nothing, thank you.
Jeff?
Just want to thank everybody for the participation tonight. Excellent. That's the passion we like to see. It really makes our job a lot easier when folks show up and speak their minds. Otherwise, to Candy's point earlier, we're just kind of we're just voting our conscience otherwise. So we'll do the best we can. Thank you.
No comments.
And I just want to explain my vote on that. I know I don't have to explain it, but I want you to know why I voted no on it. It's not because I think it should be in the water. It's because we told the health department they could have their say on it. So that was my only reasoning, because when I tell somebody and make an agenda and something like this happens, I feel bad because I like to let everybody be able to participate. I think that's all I have for tonight. Dan?
All I'll say is just kind of, again, I apologize for not being able to get the Teams meeting up. I will contact Sandy Sutton from the state, and I will read that RAF. So
Yeah, you probably.
that's all I have.
Brent, anything?
Nothing, thank you, Madam Mayor.
All right, do I have a motion